stronger commodity prices and a new strike on Iran and all of this as relates to commodity markets. Jerry Gidel is ready to assess all of that and more right here on Connected Farmer, your channel to keep you up to date with the latest trends in agriculture and livestock. So, Jerry, we had just had the breaking news that the U.S., along with Israel, has made several strikes on Iran, targeting several military sites and their leadership. And for sure, this will impact the energy prices on Monday. But we can start off with the market closing on Friday that we had stronger than expected prices. And a report by Reuters that many in the northern hemisphere were impacted by those pictures of hundreds of trucks bottlenecked in Brazilian roads that may affect the soybean exports at the peak of the harvest.
Yes, yes. Well, Friday was an impressive day, no doubt about it. From there, wheat kind of led the thing along with the soybeans. At this point, the news in South America definitely was a interesting situation. To some extent, this year's kind of wet harvest actually has slowed down the harvest itself, but it's also slowed down the transportation of soybeans from Mato Grosso up to the tributaries of the Amazon and things of that nature. So it's there. But I think, the wheat was the one that actually had the strongest response on Friday. And it's kind of interesting that in the fact that the weather forecast for the U.S. Still doesn't. It's going to have some cool weather here and back, say north of St. Louis, across in the U.S. But the southern U.S. is still going to stay reasonably, in the high 40s and 50s and stuff like that. So it's promoting the idea that the wheat crop in the U.S. is going to be breaking out of dormancy, and that's really very old, very early in the cycle here on that. There's still a very good chance that we could have some freezing weather below 10 degrees south of that line across the U.S., which could damage some wheat. So a combination of that and also the areas of the South America that's having some issues there on getting the soybeans out of Brazil from there. But the one thing that we need to step up into right now was the unexpected U.S. Uh, and Israel attack here on Iran. They've been jousting back and forth here for a while, and definitely that's going to end up prompting stronger reactions here in the metals and foreign markets and things of that nature. And that I don't know that Iran is a big purchaser of U.S. grains, but
No,
uh,
yeah, Iran mostly buys from Brazil their corn, but I think the main impact will be on the energy prices that will reflect on grain prices as a result.
that's the next one on my list was getting to the energy prices. So, yes, energy is generally involved in all the markets. I don't care if you're talking about the stock markets or the commodity markets or the metals or whatever. And it's definitely they're a major world producer of energy, crude oil, and all that, and the Straits of Hormuz and all that is a very important factor in what goes on in the world stock markets, as we all know. So that is, at this point, we really don't have a tremendous amount of specific information. There was I think you picked up the idea that they were looking that some of the targeted areas were near some of their military uh, facilities and also the people that are the head of those organizations. So from that standpoint, uh, we'll find out more information about that. But I would expect to see higher prices when we open on Sunday night here in all these international markets along with the grains. Now, part of it's the fact that we broke out of some technical features here, particularly in wheat. That one has been going on for Jesus, nearly 2 years on a price point on that. And to some extent, considering the conditions in the U.S., there's definitely some vulnerability. Now, worldwide, uh, right now, the Black Sea. Russia keeps talking about a great crop. Not people are not jumping on that. Great, a solid crop over there. Europe has some concerns in France about their crop size from there. So that one could easily uh, get a little more juice in it, particularly if it gets above $6, which are really on the doorstep of that with the May prices here in the U.S. And that, so we'll see what that progresses, but it does suggest that we could have a pretty good advancement there. Soybeans, another situation very close to this double top, so emotions in those markets are going to be high here, and we'll see what emotion or what really does transpire uh, with the emotions and the chart patterns on Sunday night.
Yeah, so based on the weather in South America and is all reported bottlenecks in Brazil, I think other than wheat, soybeans might get some pressure here, upward pressure.
Yes, one thing the next since we are looking at South America and the issues they've had there on getting the supplies up to the Amazon here. Uh, the other thing is it's Sassafras Mercado, which tends to be one of the old line agricultural consultancy down there, and they tend to be relatively slow to the trigger, up or down. They actually reduced their soybean crop estimate. I think it's a combination of some of the weather issues, particularly in Rio Grande do Sul, which is definitely hasn't had the amount of moisture that they had north, and there might be some issues about spoilage up in some of the Rio Grande, excuse me, Mato Grosso areas. They took their production number from 179.3 down to 177.7. And it's not a huge number. It's still a higher number than last year, but it is a number that's a little lower. So that'll be interesting to keep watch on that. Actually, Rabobank, though, didn't agree. They actually moved their number to 181 from there. And also, Paranon's had a very good crop this year and looks like they're going to have an 11 million metric ton crop, the highest production. I think they've been around 10.4, 10.6 maybe million metric tons in the past. So there's still going to be plenty of beans in South America, despite some short-term issues here on things going forward in that. Uh, so that's some of the updates on some of the numbers we might see next week. The one thing that we also are going to see on Monday is the U.S. January soybean crush. That's anticipated to be 226 million million bushels at this point. Uh, Solid number, way over uh, last year's pace, but still slightly down from the 229 that we had back in December. So, but overall, I think the one thing that's interesting here, that seems to be boiling or kind of percolating, I should say, in the background is that uh, the U.S. Is getting together its program here to expand its renewable diesel scenario by utilizing soybean oil into the U.S. trucking industry and that seems to be on target here for some details from that coming out here in the next month or less. They sent them along at this point, and so the soybean oil has been really very is leading the charge, if you will, in the soybean markets because of this. And so I think that's another feature that's going to be a supportive to the beans longer term. But right now, we do need to figure out where we're going to sell the meal, and that's still a kind of a haunting factor in this thing as we go forward. But right now, at least, we're kind of bumping along here above previous high, right below previous highs, and beans went broke a big downtrend in wheat. So I think both of those markets are going to be ones to watch here in the next first half of this coming week.
Yeah, so what else we expect for the coming week other than we will follow the war and the energy prices?
Oh yes, well those will be part of it. As I said, the statistics are there. The U.S. We won't get an update on the U.S. crop size until the 10th of March, which means we'll be have a chance to look at that before our next before the next our next update. We'll look at that closer, but there's not a lot of anticipation being not much is anticipatedly changing there in the U.S. scenario at this point. Soybeans exports still just kind of riding along here, close to maybe getting to the USDA number, but not there just yet. Uh, Worldwide numbers, maybe we'll have some adjustments in those beans as we just talked about from South America. But in general here, the markets are going to be watching the developments, like you say, in Iran and the Mid East and things of that nature. And right now, at least, uh, keep an eye on things. If we get highly emotional on things, there might be a reason to add a few sales into producers' pockets here. This is definitely a flashpoint, but uh, somehow I don't think we're going to get into a World War III here. Over Iran at this point.
All right, thank you, sir.
Take care. You bet. Have a good weekend.